Welcome to Tokenized Living. Remember, all content shared here is for educational purposes only. Enjoy responsibly. Are you looking to invest in a vacation home but can't decide between fractional ownership or a timeshare? While these two options might seem similar at first glance, they are worlds apart in terms of benefits, flexibility, and long-term value. And choosing the wrong one could cost you thousands, or even leave you with an asset that loses value over time. What exactly are the differences between fractional ownership and timeshares? Which one offers you real control and the potential for financial gain? And how can you avoid the common pitfalls many vacation property investors face? In today's video, we're breaking down everything you need to know about these two popular vacation property models. By the end of this video, you'll not only understand the core differences, but also have the insight you need to make the smart investment choice for your future. Whether you're after a luxurious getaway or a solid real estate investment, stay tuned to find out which model gives you the most value. So what exactly is fractional ownership? Imagine owning a luxury vacation home, but instead of shouldering the full cost, you share ownership with others. Fractional ownership allows multiple people to own a portion of a property, like splitting a pie. Each person holds a legally recognized deed to a specific share of the property, often 1/4 or 1/8. Here's the beauty of it. You're not just buying time, you're buying a real piece of the property. As a fractional owner, you get deeded ownership, which means you have a tangible, transferable interest. You can sell your share, rent it out, or even pass it down to your heirs. Plus, the time you get to use the property is proportional to the share you own. For example, if you own 1/4 of the property, you typically get around 13 weeks per year to enjoy it. The best part? Professional management often takes care of the headaches like maintenance and scheduling. So you can enjoy the property without worrying about the day-to-day logistics. It's almost like having all the perks of owning a vacation home without the hassle. But beyond convenience, fractional ownership can also be a smart financial move. Because you actually own part of the property, it can appreciate in value over time, just like traditional real estate. That means there's potential for your investment to grow. Unlike timeshares, where the value often depreciates, fractional ownership gives you a piece of an asset that could increase in worth. Now let's talk about timeshares. A timeshare is a property jointly owned by multiple people, but there's a key difference from fractional ownership. You're not buying a piece of the property itself. Instead, you're buying the right to use the property for a set amount of time, usually one specific week per year. Here's how it works. You pay for the right to use the property during the same week each year. For example, you might buy a week at a resort during the peak vacation season, which will cost more than an off-season week. But unlike fractional ownership, timeshare owners don't hold a deed to the property. That means you have no stake in the real estate itself. You have usage rights. Sometimes timeshares are part of large vacation resorts, and you pay to reserve your spot each year. However, you can't sell or rent it out as easily as with fractional ownership, and the timeshare doesn't have the potential to appreciate. Timeshares tend to lose value over time because they're not viewed as real property. One of the biggest downsides to timeshares is the lack of flexibility. You're locked into using the property for the same week each year, which may not always suit your schedule. And while timeshare companies may offer programs to swap your week with other owners, it's often cumbersome and can come with extra fees. Selling a timeshare is also notoriously difficult, as the secondary market for timeshares is oversaturated and underappreciated. The most significant difference between fractional ownership and timeshares comes down to what you're actually buying. With fractional ownership, you hold a deeded share in the property, meaning you legally own part of it. This gives you more control and long-term options like selling or passing it down to heirs. With timeshares, you're only purchasing usage rights for a specific time each year, but you don't own the actual property. It's a huge distinction when it comes to both flexibility and potential value. Here's another big difference: the investment potential. Fractional ownership is similar to owning real estate. Your share can appreciate over time as the property's value increases, allowing you to sell it at a profit. Timeshares, on the other hand, typically don't appreciate in value. In fact, most timeshares depreciate, making it harder to resell, and often resulting in a loss if you try to sell it in the secondary market. When it comes to flexibility, fractional ownership is the clear winner. As a fractional owner, you have more control over how and when you use the property. You can even rent out your unused time, or swap it with other owners for different dates. With timeshares, your options are more limited. You're locked into a specific week each year, and changing dates or swapping weeks often incurs additional fees or is simply inconvenient. Both options come with maintenance fees, but there's a difference in how these are handled. With fractional ownership, the maintenance costs are shared among fewer people, which often results in better transparency and a more personalized management experience. Timeshare maintenance fees can be higher and less predictable, with owners often experiencing unexpected increases over time. Finally, let's talk about how much time you actually get to spend in the property. Fractional ownership gives you access to the property for a proportionate amount of time based on the share you own. This could mean weeks or even months of use each year. Timeshare owners, however, are generally limited to just 1 week annually, and additional time usually requires purchasing more or paying extra fees. One of the biggest advantages of fractional ownership is the potential for appreciation. Since you own a deeded share of the property, it's real estate, an asset that can increase in value over time. If the property's value goes up, your share becomes more valuable, giving you the opportunity to sell at a profit. Timeshares, on the other hand, almost always depreciate. Since you don't own the property itself, the resale value of timeshares tends to drop, making them harder to sell. Another compelling reason why fractional ownership is a smarter investment is the flexibility it offers. You have control over when and how you use the property, and you can easily rent out your unused time if you choose. Plus, exiting a fractional ownership arrangement is far easier than selling a timeshare. Fractional ownership shares can be sold on the open real estate market, just like any other property. Timeshares, however, are notoriously difficult to sell, with many owners stuck paying fees long after they stop using their allocated time. While both models involve maintenance fees, fractional ownership tends to have more predictable and transparent costs. With fewer owners involved, the expenses are easier to track, and you'll typically have a better understanding of where your money is going. Timeshare maintenance fees, on the other hand, are often higher, less predictable, and can increase over time, making it a less appealing option for long-term investment. As a fractional owner, you have more control over the property itself. You can influence how the property is managed, maintained, and even upgraded. This gives you a say in ensuring that the property maintains its value and remains a quality asset. With timeshares, owners rarely have any say in management decisions, and the property is controlled by the resort or management company, limiting your influence over its future. So, there you have it. Whether you're considering fractional ownership or a timeshare, it's clear that fractional ownership offers more value, flexibility, and long-term investment potential. If you found this video helpful and want to learn more about real estate and investment strategies, don't forget to hit the like button. It really helps the channel grow. Also, make sure to subscribe and click the notification bell so you never miss an update on the latest trends in vacation property investments, tokenization, and much more. If you have any questions or thoughts on fractional ownership versus timeshares, drop a comment below. I'd love to hear from you. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.